Bye-bye! I think everyone has a memory of the DS, and I mean, who couldn't? And I know you're lying if you said you didn't, because no one just becomes the second best-selling game system of all time for no reason. The DS is probably the most universally recognized device, maybe not on the first rendition, but maybe more of the DS Lite, which actually allowed the console to be physically held. The majority of people who got the DS were the casual audience. You know, they buy the DS for 1 or 2 games and they're set for their car ride. But you also had the huge install base of the core Nintendo fans. They had the Zeldas, Kirby's, Pokemon, way too much Pokemon. Is that all of them? Fuck! I feel like where Nintendo had the most casual and core fans in the same boat. Were the Pokemon games, of course, they sold like crazy. However, their second biggest market were definitely the Mario games. Like, holy shit. At least every person that you knew probably owned at least one of these games. The biggest seller of these three was the new Soup game. And since the DS was popular, and this was the game marketed with the console, of course it sold a lot, like nearly 31 million copies. And if you're smart, you know that's more than 5. The other 2 games still sold pretty well, but not reaching the heights of New Soup. All 3 of the games were heavily polished experiences. They were playable with friends, even if they didn't own the game, and they kind of pushed the DS to its limits. And most importantly, they were pretty fun. And if it's not fun, fuck you. It comes down to their presentation, their gameplay, and the amount of content you got with them, and not just in the core mode. Mario Kart DS is probably the best single player experience in the entire series, mostly in part due to its mission mode. But you could also play basically any part of the game by yourself and still have fun with it. New Soup and 64DS were more of a single player experience, but both still have some cool extra modes, mostly just short and oddly combat-centric multiplayer modes. And while both, well, at least one, lives on a fully online fan experience, the other has been greatly added upon in the base N64 title with mods. But what if you don't want to play the base game or get beat up by your friends? Well, you can play a shit ton of minigames. My god, did I spend so much time in these minigames, man. There are so many classics to pick from Sort or Splode, to Hide and Boo Seek, to Loves Me. Damn it! My favorite is how Luigi condones gambling, because of course he would. The cool thing was that, at least in N64DS, was that a lot of these games were actually unlocked while playing the base game. I know, crazy. You unlock things by playing the game. It felt incentivized to play the game, because that meant you unlocked more games to play. However, there's but one that at least everyone who's played these games before remembers the most. Wanted. Wanted is a blatant ripoff of Find Me, but it has Luigi. But what did he do? Oh yeah, I forgot the gambling stuff. So yeah, the whole point of the game is to find the character on the Wanted poster, whether that was Mr. Nintendo, Green Mario, the dinosaur one, or Wario. You had a certain amount of time to find their icon, and levels would get harder and harder. While this is quite a simple game, no one's arguing that it isn't. Wanted had a deception of being a simple game. Levels would get progressively harder and harder. Characters would cluster up, hide behind one another, and start moving around, whether that's moving on a path or bouncing off the walls. These small challenges can get quite overwhelming. What makes the game difficult is our selection of characters, or should I say, criminals. I don't know what these 3 did to get caught up in a federal search, but Wario, I kind of understand. These 3 look nearly, close enough like each other, and these 2 share the same primary color. So on a tier list, Luigi is the hardest, and Fred Durst is the easiest. Because look, I just found him. Fuck you. This is one of the best zone out and play games. It's something you can just open up, play for a bit, and close. Plus, you have a whole game included. You know, this is one of those games that would work really well on a smartphone. I wish there was a feed of videos that were just this minigame. Maybe they make it a little more harder and complex. Maybe add some new characters in there. Oh, they did that. I've been seeing these videos everywhere. And honestly, I don't mind. That's kind of why I made the whole video in the first place. So now I'm gonna need a DS to play this game, and it's free, and I can play it anywhere I want. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, in conclusion, Luigi's going right to jail.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.